What's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back at the original filming location because guess what? We have one of those top-selling compact crossover SUVs, and it's this car here. It's the refresh, updated, changed up 2022 Mazda CX-5. This particular one is the Signature Edition. But before we get into this all-wheel drive, turbocharged crossover SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. Mazda. This is their bread and butter. Many people think it's the Mazda MX-5 Miata. I know that's one vehicle that I love to drive through the twisty bits, but what does it for them is the CX-5. So much so that they expanded their lineup with the new CX-50, which of course we brought here to you on Rady's Rise. So if you haven't seen that one, I'll leave a review for that one at the end of this particular one. Now, this being the CX-5, it has not had a major redesign since its introduction in 2016. That should tell you something, that the design philosophy that Mazda follows is pretty timeless for the most part. I think other vehicles in this segment are not going to be able to pull off what this CX-5 has been able to do. Now, with the CX-5 kind of bringing a little bit more luxury, especially the Signature trim, I want to compare this to another compact crossover SUV. It's actually new for 2022. It's the Genesis GV70. So let's go ahead, let's dive into this turbocharged all-wheel drive CX-5 and find out, is it the better crossover SUV, luxury crossover SUV you should be buying over the Genesis GV70? Let's go ahead and find out. Right off the bat, you'll notice the changes. There's some major refresh and change up going on at the front end. All new headlight design. You got your LED daytime running lamps, LED turn signals, and those LED headlights are adaptive headlights. What does that mean? They actually move with the steering wheel. And what's interesting is that BMW, many people think BMW came out with that technology. It actually was Preston Tucker with his car named after himself, the Tucker, that had that center headlight that would move with the steering all the way back in the late 1940s. Now, what I love about Mazda, no fake vents. So you have nice, smooth material all on the front fascia, even the lower section. I love this machine metal gray finish. It really shows the lines of the body. Of course, you have Soul Red. That really is one of the best reds in the industry. Now, as we come across that open face grille, we got some gloss black, sort of like in a chain link fence design, the Mazda badge, and then right underneath that, believe it or not, is a forward-facing camera. Now, what they did with this forward-facing camera and the backup camera is they increased resolution. And then another thing you'll notice is that the Mazda badge actually mimics the chrome that runs along the bottom of the front end. Now, if you compare this to the Genesis GV70, this is a little bit more tame. I think the GV70 with its massive grille, garners a lot of attention, but it also garners a lot of people that don't like a big, massive grille, but definitely a sportier look at the front end. On the low side, you do have full functionality in the center and this lower lip that extends really cleanly. Now, when we get up onto that low slung hood, everything is the same with this model year 2022 compared to the previous model year. Body lines that just flow right towards those side mirrors. When we come around the bend, we do have new wheels and tires. So you're gonna get this multi-spoke wheel on the top trim. It kind of mimics a brushed aluminum look. These are actually hand polished in Japan, believe it or not. But you're looking at a 19-inch wheel, 225 on the width, 55 series sidewall. And what I love is that they painted everything all the way around the fender opening instead of flat black. Nice, clean style. Coming down the rest of the vehicle, you got color matched on the mirror caps, very slim LED turn signals. I like the way that they did the bright, shiny metalwork only on the bottom, color matched on the door handles, and a super clean side sill extension. Thankfully, they didn't do what they did on the CX-30 and put cladding all over it. Now, the CX-5 has a bit of cladding. That one doesn't, CX-50 doesn't bother me as much. Glad they kept this very simple. Working our way towards the rear, you get that hockey stick, almost like a putter style to the way that they flared out the trim in the quarter window. And then as we come around back, just like up front, they redesigned the taillights. Some of the best looking taillights, LED turn signals. I like the way they extend off the back of the vehicle. You got your badging, CX-5 Signature, all-wheel drive. They almost called this the John Hancock edition. I wonder if you get that joke. But anyways, coming across the center, you do have a wiper. We're gonna let it slide because besides the Tucson, everybody has a wiper. I wish that they would tuck it underneath and maybe extend this just a bit off of the roof. We'll see what the redesign is gonna be. This one has nice stainless steel on the top of the bumper. This is great for the kids that don't give a damn. You know who they are. They got their stuff in the back of your vehicle, they drag it out and then they scrape the rear bumper. This is gonna stop that from happening. And then my favorite part is as we drop down, you actually have one exhaust on each side. They are functional, clean look. My big question mark, what the heck is that? Why is there this rectangle indentation in the back? Is that like a coin slot or some type of place where you could put like a crank and like crank it up and then the car goes? Interesting. If somebody knows, please put that in the comment section. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk horsepower numbers in our Turbo CX-5. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. I am gonna zonk it because it's right in the middle of the engine compartment, but you'll notice underneath a tasteful engine cover and that red word turbo. What do we have? We have a 2.5 liter inline-4 turbocharged engine. If you're comparing that to the GV70, the base GV70 also has a 2.5 liter inline-4 turbocharged engine. Ours on premium fuel, when you run premium, you don't have to, but when you run premium, 256 horsepower, 320 pound-feet of torque, it's made it to a 6-speed automatic. If you compare that to the Genesis GV70, GV70 has an 8-speed automatic. 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds. The vehicle weighs 3,836 pounds. MPGs 22 in the city, 27 on the highway. But you know what? We're trying to also talk about the luxury side of things. So why don't we go ahead, let's get to the interior and see what's new for 2022 in the CX-5. All right, guys, we're inside this 2022 Mazda CX-5. We're comparing it to the GV70. I know what you're saying. You're saying to yourself, Joe, Genesis is on a roll, bringing luxury at such a good price. But I also know that Mazda is doing a pretty good job as well, even though they're not considered a premium brand. But how much is this vehicle? That's the bottom line. So the way that you see this one option, you're looking at an MSRP of right around $40,000. This is the signature trim. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. I love the soft touch material, open pore wood. The big zonk though is you have some gloss black around the switch gear for the windows and the door locks. And then it's interesting how they do this dark chocolate brown on the armrest. At first it looks black, but it's not. It's chocolate brown, I promise you. Now, in the door pocket, you could easily put 2 full-size chocolate Easter bunnies, the hollow kind, not the solid chocolate, and a bottle of pink Yoo-hoo to wash it down. We got the Bose sound system, optional sound system in the top trim. And then going from the door panel to the dash, soft touch material. You got that wood style finish with the aluminum, very tasteful, soft touch. And then what do you got? You got a 10.25 inch screen. Now, if we're comparing this to the Genesis, it's smaller. But smaller doesn't mean bad. It also is not touchscreen. Let me know if that's a problem for you. To use the screen, you gotta go through the control knob. Let me show you the backup cameras. Look how clear the resolution is. That's better than in the Genesis GV70 for sure. And then you could also put it back in a park, and then I could show you more camera views. There we are out the front with trajectory and 360. So they got you covered there. I hit the button, and then we're right back out the back and the front, go back in the park, and we're good to go. And then there's our navigation. Working our way down, we got a heated steering wheel, we got our start-stop button, heated seats, 3 stages, and 3 stages of ventilated seats, dual climate control. I love the nice quality knobs, really nice finishes in here. Lower the fan, lower the cooled seats. You do have a 12 volt all the way down there. Just make sure you don't put any body parts in there. I know you probably have one that will fit. And then of course you got wireless charging, which is a nice touch. This is going to control your 6-speed automatic. A little bit of gloss black, nothing too crazy. You got your MI drive controller. You go through sport and off-road. Remember, all-wheel drive is standard on all CX-5s. There's your direct drive control knob for the infotainment system. 2 cup holders. Your standard Mazda key fob. Not a bad key fob. Not fantastic either. Chocolate brown on the armrest, but it is soft as a box of Charmin. Open it up, you got a little tiny tray. This is where you're gonna wanna keep your small coins, like maybe your Buffalo nickels, maybe you got a Liberty dollar, maybe a 50-cent piece. You could put that there. Yes, 50 cent is not just a wrapper. There's a 50-cent piece with JFK on it. Just a little fun fact. You got a USB, actually 2 of them, USB-A's, a 12-volt, and enough room, I would say, for your crystal figurine of 50 Cent. That one that you and your sister went to that concert and you bought it at that weird gift shop thinking that you were going to meet 50 Cent and have him sign your, I'm not even going to say what you want him to sign. It's not clean. I'm going to get zonked on YouTube. Seats, Nappa leather. Not your regular leather, Nappa leather, chocolate brown all the way down. I'm getting hungry for some chocolate, but they are full electric assist for the passenger and the driver. And the other thing is you are getting a sunroof, but it's very small. It's like a peephole sunroof. It's like you could get like a periscope. It would be nice to have a panoramic sunroof. That's the other P word. No, not that P word, you sicko. But why don't you get over here behind the wheel, the business end. I want to show you what's going on for 2022 in the CX-5. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 2 memory seat settings, which are nice. And you do have your seat controls. I like the way they put this little silver finish. It actually makes it feel better when you're touching it at your fingertips. I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of room in here, which is great. Steering wheel, very sporty, very luxurious with the stitching. You can see how they do all that nice clean stitching all the way around. Horn button is nice, and then flat black on all the switch gear. You do have small paddles behind the wheel to go up and down the 6-speed automatic, and it is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel, not power. And then of course, the dash. I like the way you have that digital speedometer in the center. When you go into your different modes, it changes. Red means race for sport. And then you could go into off-road, brown, just like the brown interior in here. You got an analog tach, analog coolant, fuel gauge, and then those other 2 digital readouts. Plus, you have a head-up display. So Signature trim is bringing the tech. Let's see what kind of room we've got in the back seat compared to the GV70 in the CX-5. All right, guys, back seat time. And you know what? It's really not too shabby. Now, I did not move either seat to show you what kind of leg room that we have. These seats can actually move up quite a bit because for some reason, Steven likes to sit all the way back in the rear seat area of the CX-5. So I'm putting up with it just to show you that we have enough room. You do have good sized pockets. You could easily put, I would say, 8 cassette tapes or probably around 14 CDs back here. So if you have your Milli Vanilli, if you have your Run DMC, maybe you want some newer stuff, you know, like Post Malone or something, you could put those CDs and tapes back here. And if you're wondering what a cassette tape is, use the Google, that's all I gotta say. We do have rear AC vents, and before you start getting zonk crazy, saying, where's all my connectivity? Give me 1 second, I'll be right there. Like I said, nice soft Nappa leather, Nappa. Good amount of headroom. Pull down this bad boy. It's a little bit on the hard side, but I'll show you why. You got your 2 cup holders, 3 stages of heated seats. Open this up, ba-bam, USBs. Plus you can fill this up with Skittles. You won't rub off any of the colors. Taste the rainbow, highly recommend. Put it back. The rest of it is nice and soft, but when we get to the cargo area, wrap this one up because I want to go on throttle in this CX-5 Turbo. Time to get in the cargo area. You hit the button right underneath that Mazda badge. You get a little bit of a chime, electric assist. What are you greeted to? You're actually greeted to, with the rear seats up, right around 29 cubic feet of space. If you want to be exact, it's 29.1. Fold the rear seats down. That's going to give you 58.1 cubic feet of space. Now, one thing I want to show you is that this section I actually put lower. The reason why is that you could actually adjust and get a tad more height out of the back of the cargo area, depending if you're going to Costco and getting that big old barrel of mayonnaise. You have the nice controls right here to just pull on this handle to fold down the rear seats, and you do have a spare tire, which is nice. I know it may not seem like a big deal, but some vehicles are not coming with spares anymore. But you know what? We got premium fuel in the tank of this vehicle. That means we got 256 horsepower. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's see how it drives and go on throttle in the CX-5. All right, guys, we're in this 2022 Mazda CX-5 Turbo Signature Edition. As you can see, sometimes driving in Florida, you just really got to be on your toes when people are pulling out of shopping centers and stuff. I do have it in sport mode. How do you know? We got that bright red around the speedometer. And then one of the things I immediately love about the interior is just all the great finishes in here, especially at this price point compared to the GV70. Another thing are the seats. Very comfortable, very supportive, especially for those long drives back and forth to work every day. And then, of course, you're going to get that great all-wheel drive that's going to keep you planted, and that tried and true 2.5-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, which is nice. But why don't we go ahead? I want to go on throttle here. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. 6-speed automatic drops down and we're off. So it really does a great job of getting the power to the ground. A little bit of slip, and then it sends power to the rear wheels, but still very, very nicely done. Handling is where the CX-5 really shines, especially compared to the GV70. GV70, they've done some pretty good work with it over at Genesis, but the CX-5 really has that zoom feel and fun and great driving connection and engagement. And I want to show you how that works as we go into this right-hand bend on the brakes. Nice downshifts, turn in, on throttle, here we go. But you don't have to white knuckle the steering wheel. You can keep a nice, easy grip on it and just smooth right into this right-hand bend. Does a really great job of feeling composed, but also making you feel confident behind the wheel. Visibility is great. You got this nice frameless auto-dimming mirror, nice size on the side mirrors, and then of course you got all the safety features, lane keep assist, emergency brake assist, all those goodies. I guess the biggest complaint, two complaints, the big zonks are going to be, I'm sure some of you are going to want a larger screen, and I know all of you mostly are going to want a touch screen. Once you get used to the digital controller, it actually is not a big deal. So, I mean, you hit home, then you could scroll, say you want to go into information, you could go in there, you go back to home, I pull navigation back up, and we're right back where we started. So it's not too complicated once you get the hang of it. But I want to get out onto the highway and see how this CX-5 drives. So as you can see, plenty of passing power, and they did a great job with the sound deadening material in here. Really good job on this signature trim. I like the sound from the engine, from the power plant. It doesn't sound, you know, too tinny or anything like that. And then overall, just really comfortable, even on the longer drives. And what I'll do is I'll take it out of sport, put it into normal, it drops the revs. So right now we got about 1,800 RPM at around 55 miles an hour. So that's where we're at with the 6-speed automatic. I know a lot of people are wanting them to do an 8-speed automatic, but obviously still getting the job done with the 6. I think another great area that this CX-5 accelerates in is going to be with the manual shifting. So you got a nice little gear indicator, 4th gear, 3rd gear, 2nd gear, on throttle, here we go. So it actually has pretty quick shifts. A little quicker on the downshift, but still even pretty quick on the upshift, which is nice. But this is gonna allow you, like, if I was on a twisty road right now, it would be a blast using these paddles going through the 6-speed automatic transmission. That's how nice the transmission shifts. All right, guys, we're gonna go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. Over bumps, over chewed up pavement. Very, very good on the suspension at all 4 corners. No rattles, no creaks, no shakes. And then getting up to highway speed is real easy behind the wheel of the CX-5. But hopefully this is giving you a nice overall feel of what the CX-5 Turbo Signature trim is bringing to the table. I'm gonna get back to where this all started and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. Hey guys, it's been a great kind of day with this gray CX-5. That doesn't mean it was a bad day. Definitely want to thank everybody over at Mazda USA for allowing us access to this press fleet vehicle. Let me know what you think. Standard all-wheel drive, turbocharged power. Is this the one, the CX-5 Signature, the one to get over the Genesis GV70? Put your choice in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Redesign family. We definitely got to give it up to Steven and Steven Flood Photography, making the magic happen. And you know what? He does it very well. Show him some love in that comment section. Thank you, Steven, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.